Alright, so you decided that you want to start investing and you want to find out what broker you should use to do your investing. So there are a few things you can do. One of the most sensible things to do is to get feedback from people around you, people you already know who are doing investing. That would be a simple, straightforward way to do it. Also, you do need to do your research into these platforms, and I'll show you a few examples on the screen what those would look like on their websites to get the information you need. So there are two, well, there's one regulating body in the UK called the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority. I'll show you the website for FCA, how you can find the information you need to determine if a platform or financial body is actually regulated in the UK. Okay, so this is the website for the FCA, as you can see, and if there's a specific company that you want to find out about, you can just do a quick search on the website to see, and they also have some very useful insights. They do have some information about different companies that they've found before to be causing issues. So I'll just take you there now. News, and if you go to warnings, you will see a whole list of companies that have been issued warnings by the FCA. So they probably aren't registered, and the FCA clearly points out or clearly indicates that these companies who aren't FCA regulated are possibly scammers. So you need to be aware of that as a first precaution. The second one is you can check on the FSCS website for companies that are part of the Financial Services Compensation Scheme, FSCS. Okay, and what that basically means is that they have agreed to, for each client they have, they will set aside a certain amount for that scheme. So customers are able to claim some sort of compensation if their money was to be lost by the broker or the financial institution. So that's something that's very important. I think most of them are covered up to 85,000. Some of them might be more, but you do need to do your research into it and find all the information that you need on the websites. So I'll show you a few brokers that I personally find to be good, and this is for the UK. I'll start off with UK brokers. So the first one on my list is Hargreaves Lansdown, and Hargreaves Lansdown, in my opinion, is one of the best and safest to invest in the UK. I do have a junior stocks and shares ISA that I use for my kids with Hargreaves Lansdown. I don't have a personal ISA or personal investing account with Hargreaves Lansdown because of those fees, but for the junior ISAs they do have a reasonable fee, which is at £5.95. But for the adult accounts they are £11.95, I think, £11.95. Okay, so let's take a quick look and just make sure that Hargreaves Lansdown is FCA regulated and does have maybe a part in the FSCS scheme. Okay, so if we scroll down, we'll see it clearly states we're regulated by the FCA, and they would have the number for the FCA, so you can easily check on the FCA website as well, so you can find it. And it does talk about, yep, see right here we can see it does call out that they're part of the FSCS scheme, and they protect up to £85,000 as well that they have set aside for clients. Okay, so that's a very good sign to start with. I personally would continue using Hargreaves Lansdown at any point, because I just feel like I get great value for money from Hargreaves Lansdown for what they offer. They have a very good availability of stocks and ETFs, and again, they've been around for a very long time, so you can usually trust them. They do have some index funds as well that you can buy into. All the fees and everything are clearly stated by you can find almost all the information you need on their website. Next on the list is Trading 212. Trading 212 is one of my favorites. It is said to be #1 in the UK in terms of popularity, and it's a really good platform. They don't charge you any commission or any annual fees to hold an account with them. They do have different types of accounts, a CFD account, an invest account, or you can also have an ISA. I did speak about these things in a previous video, so I won't get too much into the different types of accounts, but I will talk about the platforms. That's what this video is focused on, and how you can actually find out if they are regulated. Okay, so if you scroll to the bottom of Trading 212 website, you should see the information about the FCA, and it should be clearly stated somewhere. There we go. So they clearly state, so it says your funds and data are protected. Trading 212 is authorized and regulated by the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, and your funds are kept in a segregated account and are protected by the FSCS up to 85,000. And it says we protect your data by implementing the industry's best practices. So that would give me a lot of confidence in Trading 212's ability to protect my account, my funds, and that's one of the reasons why I did choose Trading 212. So please do your research. Next on the list is Etoro, and Etoro again is a more advanced platform, so it's not really for beginners, because you can end up making mistakes where you end up using leverage instead of buying the asset outright. So you need to be careful of that one. One of the good things about Etoro is that it does stocks and ETFs as well as cryptocurrencies, and you can do CFD trading as well. So that's why a lot of people find it to be useful. One of the features they have on there as well that some of the other platforms don't have is that it is more like a social, it's geared towards social investing, where you can copy other traders as well. So if we scroll down the website, we should find the information we need at the bottom. It should tell us clearly the global leader of social trading, and it talks about the regulation here. Our company is regulated by the FCA and SISEC. Security. Your funds are protected by industry-leading security protocols, and they do call out the privacy as well. Okay, so I don't see on the home page anything to do with FSCS, but I do know they are part of that scheme because I have checked into it myself. Oh, actually I found it now. So right at the bottom as well, if you have any doubts about them being a part of the FCA or any of the other bodies that they're regulated by, so they call out the different bodies in different parts of the world. So they operate internationally, so of course they're going to have protection in each one of those regions, and they do call it out clearly at the bottom. And at the bottom also they do have that they are part of the FSCS, the Financial Services Compensation Scheme. So that's a guarantee for you that if the worst was to happen and Trading 212 for some reason lost your money, they would have to dip into that fund scheme and get your money back to you. Next on the list, Freetrade. Freetrade is one of my personal favorites as well. I do like the interface, the user interface that they have. Unfortunately, they do not have a website. It's app only. So this, out of all the platforms that I use, is the only one that doesn't have a website you can go to and use, just in case you don't have access to your phone or something else like that. So that's one of the downsides about using Freetrade. However, they do have most of the things that you need and want. They do offer similar or same functionality or features as the other ones. You can get your fractional shares. You can get different types of accounts. I do know that they're introducing a SIP, self-invested pension service, and they also have an ISA, but you do have to pay extra per month to get those additional accounts and benefits. I do find the offering of stocks and ETFs to be a little bit on the limited side. So that's one of the downsides I find with them. Okay, so that's something you have to be aware of if you're going to be using Freetrade, because it can be make it or break it for some people. So if we look at one of the key parts of their website, it shows you invest with trust. FCA authorized, good. FSCS protected, great. Up to 85,000, same as the other ones. They do keep that in separate segregated accounts to protect you and prevent loss and so on. And data protection they do have outlined clearly here as well. So that's very good. Now, for some of the other ones, I'll show you quickly. I recently came across this one called Immediate Edge. I was asked my opinion on the company, and immediately I went to look it up to see if it's actually legit. So I did my homework, found an article published on the FCA website, and it clearly outlines that this company isn't authorized to be doing financial or authorized by the FCA. So it clearly states on the website that you need to be avoiding companies like this to protect you and your family from scams and unauthorized firms. You have to be very careful when you're looking for these platforms. Just be aware. Okay, there's some other apps you can use if you want to do investing, but you're a beginner or you're afraid to do it yourself. And I'm going to show you two examples: Moneybox and Wealthify. Just as two quick examples. I won't go too much into them, but essentially a robo-trader platform enables you to create a profile, and based on the profile that you've created, they'll have the algorithms work based on your criteria, your personal criteria, so it's more personalized to you. So if you're a person who likes to take risks and you're a more adventurous type of investor, they will create a portfolio for you and gear that towards growth. And of course they do have to highlight as well that there's always a possibility of you losing your money, so that's something you do need to be aware of. You do need to be aware that your money can go up or it can go down at any point. But because we're all long-term or we're aiming to be long-term investors, we do have to keep in mind that we are in it for the long run, and we're not bothered about what happens on a daily basis in the stock market. Here we can see on the website, and we're looking for the typical type of information, regulation. So they do have it clearly stated on their website. You can navigate to the legal section, and you can find the regulatory bits and the FSCS protection as well. That's a link for you to download, so I won't navigate into it. So you can always check out the legal section on their website and find out what they're up to in terms of how protected is your money really. If we go to Wealthify, Wealthify does similar thing to what Moneybox does. but except it gives you a lot more variety, I think. But you can just do your research about these different platforms and based on the type of investor you are. So this one clearly states at the bottom that they are FCA regulated, and the number is available there as well. I do like that, makes it easier to find. And as far as I'm aware, they are a part of the FSCS, so you should be fine. Your money should be protected with these companies. Okay, so that just about sums up my video. I'll just do a brief summary on what I spoke about. So I did introduce you to a few different platforms. I did go through some of the legalities, the websites that you would want to check, where on the website you'd want to check as well to find out if they're FCA regulated or if they're part of the FSCS scheme. So I did explain briefly what those acronyms stood for, and you can find out more information on their website, which I'll probably have some links to if you're interested in finding out more information about these legal bodies. Okay, so we did take a look at Hargreaves Lansdown, Trading 212, Freetrade, Etoro, brief look at Wealthify, brief look at Moneybox. So those were just some of the investing platforms, and of course there are different types of investors, so you have to find that one that best suits you, your investing style. So I personally have accounts at Hargreaves Lansdown, Freetrade, Trading 212 and Etoro. And the reason for this is because I believe in just as much as having different bank accounts, you should have different platforms as well, because of the stuff that went down with GameStop, Wall Street bets and the hedge funds. Freetrade, I know as an example, did prevent me from buying or adding to my positions on Friday last week. So I did have to go to my Etoro and my Trading 212 platform just so I can add to my positions as an alternative. So that's a very good example of why we need to have different platforms, you know, strictly for the sake of protecting your finances. You do not want to have everything tied into one basket just in case something was to happen with that broker. Okay, so you need to be aware of those kind of situations that might arise. Other than that one, just do your due diligence. That's all I ask. It will benefit you in the long run, just spending a few extra minutes just to find out if your friend recommends something to you, your family recommends something to you, you find something on YouTube, go and do your research. Anyways, thanks for watching again. I'm out. Peace.